Conference championships have finished. College football playoff is set. Army-Navy this week. Heisman Trophy candidates are all going to New York. We'll find out who wins it. We'll get to it all here on Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined this week, as always, on the college football edition of this podcast, Gordon Chatterton. Gordon, rough weekend for you in college. Pretty good in pros, but how you doing, man, after this past week? You didn't drop too far, at least.
No, we only dropped a spot. We traded places with Indiana. Sorry. I slipped up there. Don't get it, but I will say this, though. Everyone kept saying, Julian saying with a Heisman Trophy, he should get it. I kept telling you, no, he's not ready for that yet. He got too confused over basic simple. I still don't understand why Jeremiah Smith didn't get a single target in the red zone. I mean, obviously they couldn't cover him because they put 3 people around him, but it looked like Godzilla with over there in Japan standing over top of people. He was like heads and shoulders literally above everybody else, just standing. But no, they went through, and then he got the tight ends involved after halftime. I mean, halfway through the third quarter, he wasn't ready. Buckeyes shouldn't have lost, but Ryan Day pulled his from last year when they played that team up north. Kept trying to run the ball up the middle. Hey, let's run up the middle. We have 3 times. It'll work this time. Let's try it again. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. Too predictable. Predictable play calling. All right, I'm done ranting about that. You going.
Hey, you mentioned, and we'll start out with it here. We're making very picks this week because it's Army-Navy. We'll make that pick. And then next week, the real stuff starts to go here. We're playoff mode and all that. We'll make our picks for that and everything. We're gonna recap the games from the other day. Sorry, Gordon. We'll bring it up again here in a little bit. Apologize in advance. We know this. We know this. And then we're going to hit some news topics that's come out. And boy, do we have a bombshell that just came out. This recording. I mean, this will go up a little bit later on. But as of right now, as we're recording this news is pretty fresh. Gordon, you just learned about it when me and you talked in the pre-meeting here. And that is Sherrone Moore, my Sherrone Moore, fired as Michigan head coach with just cause because he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member from the University of Michigan. Gordon, you're just hearing this news just for the first time. Man, what are your initial thoughts on Moore out as Michigan coach? He is detained by police right before we hit record. And there's some questions going on there. What a strange thing. Nobody expected to see this right now at this point in time.
I said, there was no rumblings, nothing ahead of time. It was just like he got caught. She must have said something and boom, gone. Well, it didn't say it was a woman. It just said, it didn't say it was a woman, did it?
Nope. It just said a staff member. It says a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and University of Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. That is about all we really know about the situation right now. Man.
Well, obviously it was unwanted, because if it was wanted, I don't think he'd be arrested. He might have gotten fired, but he wouldn't have got arrested.
Yeah.
Only thing I can say is happy hangings.
Yeah, it's fresh, so we really don't have all the information out right now, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of it coming out. But from the first initial wave right here, somebody said, imagine blowing one of the best college football jobs in America for a side piece. Man, the guy's 39 years old, young guy. I wouldn't consider him like a great head coach or anything, but I mean, he was decent. He's had Michigan decent the past few years. But, man, just 2 years in Michigan and you've blown that opportunity, it's.
Well, if it was completely unwarranted and she pursues, his next head coaching job is going to be in the penal league.
Yeah, it sounds like it. If you're being detained by police right after getting fired, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all.
Yeah. I said he's going to, well, maybe they'll let him coach the women's football league in prison.
That don't seem like that's a good idea. Like you said, we don't know, what kind of relationship, who it's with or whatever. Just a staffer. Yeah. But, that's just call. I mean, that calls. It was a calls, they found him for calls. So they found something, raised some flags, and they got rid of him right then and there. So, people are like, well, if he beat Ohio State, would you keep him around? It must have been really bad if you're I mean, because you would have done that last week, I would think.
Yeah, it was. I said, no, you can't keep someone around like that because that will take your boosters and they'll just stop funding. You won't have money for the NIL prospects because the boosters will just say, yeah, nah, piss on you.
Yeah.
You want that around you? No, I don't know. It just depends on who's there, but I would think the boosters would want to steer clear of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And now that brings up a pretty big head coaching vacancy in college football. We thought the carousel was kind of slowing down. A lot of coaches have found jobs. A lot of teams have bringing in their coaches and everything. And now you get one of the bigger jobs in the nation opening up. Kind of interesting. You know who I would suggest? Michigan guy, Lane Kiffin. I'm not starting that one again. Won't cut me on this show or anything like that. Yeah, head coaching vacancy is open once again for the carousels.
Oh yeah,
see how it spins around.
I don't like them, but I do understand it's a big job. It's a good job. You're not the biggest fan of Florida, but if there's an open, it's a big job regardless.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of prestige. It's not as much as it used to be, but
right.
Hey, a lot of teams ain't what they used to be. Look at Clemson.
Yeah, like you said, Florida, bring them up. They've got a history, like Michigan's got a history. We may not like these teams, but we agree these are big-time college football jobs. And when one of the biggest ones comes open, there's going to be a lot of, talk of who's going to take this job. And maybe things ain't settled down yet, so we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, but a retort to that one comment we had on YouTube that Lane, I'll just say Lane because I might missay his name again. Although I think it's funny.
It is funny.
My wife was sitting there to the side, and I said that she had to lay down because she was laughing so hard. But anyways, he might left. If you leave for money,
we'll get the Sherrone Moore punishment on YouTube again. Inappropriate conduct.
Hey, don't fire me. Don't fire me.
No worries. No worries there. Yeah, sticks and stones.
But he might have left for money. He might have left for money. But if you leave for money and not because it's a place you want to be at, it's going to be just like Brian Kelly, I feel. He might do good for a season, maybe a season and a half, but eventually he's got a bigger name, so he's got a bigger target now. He's on Ole Miss when he went to Ole Miss, he recruited good, but no one was thinking about Ole Miss. So he snuck up on them and got good whenever they wasn't ready for him. You go to LSU, they know who you can get, and they know who you're going to get. So you got a bigger target. You got a way bigger fight coming each week than what you did at Ole Miss.
Just look, he's done this before when he went to USC. People thought, he could recruit. He's at a big-time school, and he failed.
Well, they punished him bad.
Yeah, and that's a team that had expectations at that point in time, and he did not meet them. LSU is going to be amped up even more,
Oh, yeah.
with the expectations. They want to win now.
He'll go 2-3 years, and then he'll be jobless again, but he won't be highly touted like he was before. People's got to learn this. You got to know who you're hiring.
Yeah.
I'd put nothing guaranteed.
Yeah. And Kiffin's better at an Ole Miss. I got a feeling he's better at a school like Ole Miss than he would be a power like LSU, Alabama, etc.
Oh, yeah.
It's just because I've been there and seen that with him,
Oh, yeah. But I said if Sherrone Moore ever does get a coaching job again, it'll probably be at an all-male school with all-male faculty and
all-male staff.
It'll probably go down to single A, Division III.
Yeah, and it all depends on what all comes out about this. So, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week on the podcast because there'll be more information out about it next week. It's all going to trickle out little by little. We may even, while we're recording this, there may even be some more information. We'll keep tabs on it and see. But, a shocker to begin the podcast, man. Your rival firing Sherrone Moore for inappropriate conduct. So
that's all right. When he was sitting there blubbering a couple years ago because of the adversity, the adversity that they brought onto themselves, it takes me back to the movie The Princess Bride. The guy saying, "I don't think that word means what you think it means." Normally adversity is I have good ideas, but no, go back. But kind of know what the next topic is. But let me just slip this in?
Well, actually, I was going to go somewhere else, but yeah, let's yeah. Go ahead, slip it in.
Let's go slip this in about the definitely don't send Sherrone Moore to Notre Dame.
And speaking of Notre Dame opts out of the bowl after the college football playoff snub. The first time the Catholics have ever pulled out. Notre Dame no longer playing for the rest of the season. Gordon, what do you think about Notre Dame pitching a fit and like we don't want to play no more?
I don't like it much, anyways. Good. They would have had. Now they wasn't in the CFP, but they'd have had a pretty big bowl game. They was a good enough team. It'd have been a pretty prestigious bowl game. Not CFP.
No, Texas or BYU, they'd have played one of them teams.
Yeah, you played Texas, beat Texas. That's a lot of notoriety in your, not so much BYU because they don't have the prestige.
No.
To me, they was a better team, but they don't have the stars, around the name like prestige, like 3-4 stars in schools.
Yep.
BYU didn't have that, but Texas did, and they would have probably paid Texas being 10-2.
Yeah.
Should have played.
Played.
Or they could have did one better, and during the COVID year, they joined the ACC, so they would have some games. Just stay with them. You bounce out because you don't want to share your money, from your television rights. All right, now look where that got you. Piss on you.
Gordon, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get into this right here because this is one of my topics right here on this this little segment here. We mentioned the Notre Dame, and it is time.
It's time for Yell or No Yell.
What's the audio back? Anyways, Notre Dame is my first subject on Yell or No Yell. It is weak of Notre Dame to pull out of the bowl game and not accept the bowl bid because they thought that they got screwed. How about this? Hey, Notre Dame, how about you beat Miami, who they chose over you? How about you do that at the beginning of the season? Miami beat you. That was like a playing game. How about this? How about this, Gordon? How about we do what you just said? How about you join a conference? How about you join the Big Ten, the ACC, the Big 12, or the SEC? Any of those conferences will take Notre Dame. Any of them would take Notre Dame. Join a conference. Grow a pair and join a conference. I know you don't want to share your money and all this. Well, guess what? How about you set out during the playoffs then? 10-2 record? All right. How about this one? How about we do this? How about you play a little bit stronger of a schedule? You play a soft schedule year after year after year. You play every military school, and then you play like Stanford, Michigan State, these teams, and occasionally you'll play a top team like a Miami, and then you lose, a Texas A&M, and then you lose. How about you play a stronger schedule? How about you get into a conference, and then maybe you could talk about making the college football playoff. Gordon, do you agree with me on this? I'm pretty sure you probably do agree with me. Oh.
Am I like Nostradamus or something? Nah, it was just rolling off the top of my head. Anyways, though, but no, I think they should join a conference. Or like you said, have some wins on your resume that makes the college football committee look at you and say, even with 2 losses, even with your strength of schedule, you will more likely be in, because even if, Miami beats you, which I think that should have put them over anyways, but if you had a couple good wins, like, let's say you would have beat Texas A&M, or you would have had, the team up north, which is a rival of theirs, on your schedule, and you would have beat them. Yeah. I don't know if they did or not, because I try not to pay attention to the team up north schedule very much.
I don't think they did.
But, beat a team that has some prestige to them. Don't get me wrong. Love the military schools. They're not my team, but I respect what they do outside of, playing the football game. But their prestige ain't what it was in the 40s and 50s. Play some teams with some prestige. Play Texas. Ohio State did at the beginning of the year. Of course, we're at a conference, so we just play our schedule. Yeah. But we played, Texas, and we had the team up north. I mean, play a team that's worth it. Yeah. Don't pick just one and then take Cal Poly and all them going down the stretch. You know what I mean?
Well, here's their schedule, Gordon. Now tell me about this schedule. You face Miami the first week of the season, you lose. Okay, should have beat Miami, right? There's something there. You lost to Texas A&M in week 2 by 1. Maybe beat Texas A&M. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Then you play Purdue. Blow out Purdue. Okay.
Purdue. Yep.
Purdue. And then Arkansas. You blow out Arkansas. Once again, I mean, that's a lower SEC school. Like Purdue is a lower Big Ten school, sorry. Then you beat Boise State. All right, group of 5, whatever. NC State, middle of the pack in the ACC. By the way, the ACC, who didn't get a team in the college football playoff.
Yeah, didn't Miami get in?
Sorry. I'm thinking the champion, I guess. My bad.
Yeah.
Miami, whatever. One team.
Yeah.
Then you play USC. Okay, I'll give you that one. That one's okay.
That one had some prestige to it. Not as much as it used to, but they're in the top. They're in the above average of the Big Ten schools. Yeah, so that was a good one.
Yeah. Boston College. That's a lower ACC school.
Actually, that was the bottom this year.
Bottom, yeah. As I say, lower bottom, yeah. Basement of the ACC. Navy. There's our academy schools right there.
That was actually a good win if you look at Navy's record now.
Right. Still low group of 5 team. Pitt. You beat Pitt, who, okay, sorry, Gage, but Pitt's not scaring anybody. You know, they were ranked at that point in time, but, you know, Syracuse, awful team.
Terrible.
And then Stanford to end the season. Now, you tell me why you didn't make the college football playoff. I can tell you right now.
You played 2 schools that had you beat 2 schools that had a winning record.
Yep. And then you lost to 2 teams that are in the college football playoff. You beat one of them. You're in. You're in. Instead, no. And then you play this weak schedule the rest of the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Boise's a good Power 5 school, group of 5 school. USC, like we said, good middle of the pack, above average Big Ten school. Navy, a good group of 5 school. Pitt, I mean, do we really know what Pitt is right now? I mean,
they had a winning record.
They had a winning record in the ACC.
Slightly above average ACC school this year.
Yeah, so you've got 5 games right there, you know, of teams that were worthy opponents, you could say. And then you've got 7 where it was absolute dumpster fire for everybody else that you played. So you tell me why you didn't make the college football playoff.
Yeah. Played 5 teams that were above average, and you lost to 2 of them.
Yeah. So you're 3-2 in those games. I wouldn't put you in the playoffs either.
No, me neither. It would be, Pitt, you haven't earned nothing.
So,
to me, it shouldn't be about deserve. It should be about what did you earn.
Mm-hmm.
I said I wouldn't have been upset if my team got dropped down to 5. It wouldn't have, because it was close, but that weekend play calling, it just irritates me. But anyways, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll recap it a little bit. But while we're on that subject real quick, I do like that they did not punish the loser of the Big Ten championship, because those 2 teams right there put up a heck of a battle, and either one of them would have been number 1, would have been fine with me, because both those teams in Indiana, I mean, you never say it about Indiana because it's Indiana football, but they're legit. They have a legit football team this year.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk Cinetti he's a miracle worker, man, to turn Indiana around to where they're at right now from 2 years ago. For sure.
Well, he turned around James Madison before he did that.
Yep, that's true. So,
well, he didn't turn him around. He got him started.
He got him going. So, Gordon, that's my first year. Is Notre Dame's a bunch of weak. Sorry, I know Marcus Freeman went to Ohio State and everything, but this is a big day for Notre Dame right here, I believe. What do you got for your first yell, no yell topic, Gordon?
My first, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. I was sitting there, I'm still thinking about that topic, because that thing about Notre Dame just irritates out of me. Sorry. I'm brain farting here. Like I said, I got busy this week and didn't get to write nothing down. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say before I got off on that little rant.
It's all right. I've got 3 more if you want me to just hit mine.
Go ahead and hit your next one.
All right, so my next one is, if I was the playoff football committee, I would have left out Alabama or Miami and put Vandy in over one of those 2 teams. Alabama's got 3 losses. I know they beat Vandy head-to-head, but Vandy only had 2 losses. Did not lose too much. Didn't lose by too much to Texas and Alabama. I mean, 2 quality losses, if you could say. And then Miami, you know, you guys lost some games you shouldn't have lost either. I would put Vandy in over one of those 2 teams.
I'd have put Vandy in. I would have put them over Miami, and it wouldn't even took me 2 seconds to do it. Yeah. Their losses were, they lost to Alabama at Bryant-Denny, and they was technically in it until the very end.
Yeah.
And they lost to Texas, right?
Yep, lost to Texas by 3 at Texas.
And they had the ball, and they could have won that game too.
Yeah.
So if I have to say there's a quality losses, them would have to be it, because I'd definitely put them in. Miami lost to Loserville.
Yeah.
When they wasn't ranked, and lost bad.
And a Loserville team that wasn't good down the stretch.
No.
Vandy beat, their schedule wasn't great by any means. They blew out Kentucky. They beat Charleston Southern. They blew out Virginia Tech. They blew out South Carolina, who was 11 at the time. They blew out Georgia State, blew out Utah State, Alabama. They beat LSU, who was number 10 at the time. They beat Missouri, who was number 15 at the time. All to Texas, at Texas by 3. They beat Auburn in overtime. They beat Tennessee by 21. That's their schedule, man. I mean,
to me, Tennessee, that was actually a really good win.
it was in Neyland Stadium.
Right. And by 21, I mean, they whooped their ass. I mean,
Yeah.
you should get extra points for whooping their ass.
Trust me, I always applaud when Tennessee gets an.
Even if it is Vanderbilt.
It is Vanderbilt. I mean, Vandy's not much of a rival for Kentucky, so Tennessee is definitely. But yeah, I would have put Vandy in, man.
Oh yeah, they definitely deserved it a little bit more than Miami or Alabama, because they did beat them head to head. I would have take Miami out, drop Alabama down, because Alabama's still better than Miami.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. If you're gonna put one 2-loss team over them, you got to put both of them.
Yeah.
I think they're just I think I'll be honest with you. If they'd had another name other than Alabama, take another team, put in there, they wouldn't have been in. They'd have been.
Yeah. If it was Nebraska.
Oh yeah, well Nebraska sucked this year, but
Well, I'm just saying, if you, for example, if they had the same record Alabama did this year, same schedule and everything, you wouldn't have thought twice about kicking them out. So, Gordon, have you?
I remembered what it was now.
All right. You're good. You're good. I've got 2 more, but we'll go ahead and hit yours.
As far as the Heisman Trophy,
Oh, we're gonna get.
we talked about that a second ago. I told y'all Sayin was not Heisman ready. He's not that quarterback yet. He might be next year. I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm saying there was too many inconsistencies that I saw, because you know how intensely I watched that team, obviously. But Fernando, I'm not saying what I sent you the other night. Fernando Mendoza, he didn't actually play like a fucking Heisman winner either. He played like fucking hot garbage. He had like 2 good plays, but that doesn't change the fact that, the other 58 minutes of the game, other than the 2 minutes and them 2 plays, did not cement it. Though actually, I think the linebacker from Texas Tech, it should be higher than both of them. Jacob Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah. Hey, your boy you called out last week for Texas Tech made a big play, Romeo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I watched that one game. I watched 5 minutes and I saw him in the middle of 3 plays. Or was it 5 plays? Whatever. But anyways.
He got the hearing from the couch bump last week for sure.
Yeah, well, I watched that game and I just kept seeing 9 here, there. I'm like, who in the hell's that? So I looked it up on my phone and I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw it again and I'm like, I said, okay, well, he's my player this week. I mean, hell, you make that many splash plays in that short of amount of time, as far as football time.
Yeah.
Or my time, I mean, it was like in one series. Anyways, but yeah.
So,
okay.
Y'all go ahead.
I see that. I see the next topic. So.
Well, this is still part of the yell and I just threw it up here, but
okay.
About it, Indiana quarterback Mendoza, Sayin, Jeremiah Love, and Diego Pavia, the 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy. Jeremiah Love actually has pulled out of the Heisman consideration, just announced. Just kidding. No, it wouldn't surprise me. With Notre Dame, hey.
Actually, out of all them are posted right there. I know Mendoza was in the top 5. Or not Mendoza, but Rodriguez was in the top 5. He's probably not going to be able to make a trip because he plays defense, and they're allergic to giving the Heisman Trophy to anybody but a quarterback.
These are the 4 that they invited to New York right here.
Out of those 4, my pick would be Diego Pavia.
You know what, Gordon? I don't want to sound like a pro Vandy podcast here, but I'm with you. I think Diego Pavia has earned the Heisman Trophy. He has had an amazing season. Piggybacking off of last season that he had, where he come onto the scene, he's amped it up even more this year and has made his team even better. He is definitely, if you want to call it an MVP, he means more to his team than any of these other 3 players do.
I know one was undefeated. One only had 1 loss because he lost to the team. Jeremiah Love doesn't control when he gets the ball. It's when he gets play called. So his downfalls, you can't really blame him because he's not responsible. But they got another good running back that'd have been just as good without him. I think San Francisco would have been just as good Indiana was just as good with San Francisco's brother as they was with him because they had a lot of talent around him.
Yes, they did.
Ohio State could have picked me and put me at quarterback, and as long as I could throw to number 4, I think I'd have been just as good.
Yeah,
Diego Pavia is the thing right there. No, I don't think they would have been anywhere without him.
No, they definitely wouldn't have been in the conversation for the college football playoff.
Hell no.
His play, So I'm with you all the way on that, man.
I think that's what the Heisman should be looking at. Where would your team be without you?
Yeah, and that should be who gets the Heisman.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 candidates, and we agree it's Diego Pavia. Should be.
Should be. It probably won't be. It'll probably be San Francisco.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mendoza's probably
go
with, but
Jesus Mendoza.
Oh yeah. So that my next yell or no yell topic for me is we just talked about Jacob Rodriguez, Romello Height. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are a legitimate title contender. They can win this college football playoff.
Oh, you're not joking, man. They're a threat. They're a threat to everybody.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, did you hear Jacob Rodriguez actually went to Texas Tech, started off as a quarterback?
Well, I seen him throwing and trying to hit the goalpost in the pregame last week.
Oh, he hit the crossbar.
Yeah, he hit the crossbar, yeah.
Yeah. He missed the first time, but he don't throw all the time. He did the second time, and boy, it was dead accurate. The nose of the ball hit the crossbar.
And they got the defense. They got the offense. I mean, they're a scary team out there, man. They've got a shot at this thing.
They got speed on defense.
They got speed on defense. It's not just Jacob Rodriguez. It's not just Romello Height. They've got guys all over the field over there on that defensive side of the ball. That defense is swarming, and they're nasty.
And it's a Big 12 school.
Who'd
have thought that?
Of course, they win the Big 12 because they're the only team with defense over there. And on offense, they're not bad. As long as Morton can stay healthy as quarterback, this team's got a legit chance at it, man. I enjoy watching Texas Tech, actually.
Yeah, only time I got to watch a whole game is the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
And I got to see a lot of that defense, I'm telling you. Because once again, they whooped BYU's ass just like they did the first time.
We both picked a cover last week on that game, but, man, like you said, you thought it'd be more competitive, but BYU had no answer for that Texas Tech defense whatsoever.
Well, they're in the Big 12. They're not used to playing defense every week.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not used to playing against one. They just didn't know how to adjust.
Yeah, man. So, Gordon, do you have another no topic you remember? Or?
Only thing I got to say, only thing I'm going to talk about next one is some of these bowl games that are coming up from December 13th. I mean, they're all be the same day as the Army-Navy game, most of them, all the way up to Christmas Eve. And a lot of these look like real snooze fests. There's a few of them that are college football playoff, though, like JMU and Oregon, Tulane and Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's for college football playoffs there.
Yeah, the 20th. Miami and
Alabama, Oklahoma on the 19th.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but most Oklahoma and Bama on the 19th is going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the last time they played. Remember, I picked Oklahoma and won. I picked it right.
Yeah.
But the 20th, I think all three of them games are going to be one-sided.
Yeah, they will be.
I mean, A&M is going to absolutely annihilate Miami.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to turn Carson Beck into last year's Carson Beck all over again.
Yeah.
Oregon's going to smash JMU. I know we're not picking them, so it's all right for me to use it in a topic.
Yeah, we'll pick it next week.
Yeah, and I think Ole Miss is going to smoke Tulane because they're going to be pissed. So my question is, or my yell or no yell topic is couldn't they spread this out and made it not such a snooze fest for one day?
Yeah, I agree. They should have. At the same time, you could have maybe put one of those snoozers on Friday and put Alabama, Oklahoma on Saturday. Spread it out a little bit there. At least two of the three are just snoozers, and one of them's a good game. I agree with you. You should have there, but I don't know. I guess they're maybe wanting a standalone college football playoff game with Oklahoma, Alabama, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and but don't they realize everyone's just going to pretty much watch other stupid? I mean, not the fans of those teams. The fans of those teams will watch. I don't think the fans of Miami will actually watch them play A&M and get smoked. But the other ones, but Tulane and JMU, they're actually seeing them play someone in the college football playoff. That's going to be excitement enough for them.
Yeah, they'll be glad just to be there.
Yeah, other than the fans of the teams, really, I probably won't turn on. I won't turn on ESPN on the 20th. Not for that snooze fest slate. I'll sit there, I'll watch something else.
I'll probably watch just for a little bit, just to see, hey, JMU's in the college football playoff. Hey, let's watch JMU play in the college football playoff for a little bit. And then Tulane against Ole Miss, the battle of the two teams where their head coach leaves, right? Just to see how Ole Miss reacts and handles Lane Kiffin leaving, just to see if they are going to be, any sort of a threat for the rest of this field or not. So that's what I would be curious about.
You bring it up, I might watch a little bit of the Ole Miss game because I want to see what kind of a fire they come out with.
Yeah, I do too. Like you said, they should be pissed off, but it all depends. Maybe they don't. Maybe they've lost the fire that they had when Kiffin left. Who knows? But it'll be interesting, I think, for that game. But I agree, it's not going to be close. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion on who's winning those games. But the Alabama-Oklahoma game, pretty good.
Oh, that one's going to be nice.
So, my last Yell No Yell topic, I'm going to the professional football leagues here for just a second. Gordon, I believe that the Indianapolis Colts are way too desperate to bring in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played a down of football in the last 4 or 5 years, I think it is. What do you think, Gordon? Do you think it's a little bit too much desperation time for the Colts? Like, was there nobody else available at all, anywhere?
I think, in his day, Phillip Rivers was a good quarterback. Actually, really good. But he didn't like to pull out either.
He did not.
He should have went to Notre Dame.
It would have been perfect for him.
Yes, it would have. But I think they got a good quarterback on the bench. Yeah, he didn't play good last week.
He didn't have no time to prepare.
Yeah. He got thrust in the game. Put some time into him and start him. I think Riley Leonard's way more mobile. A rock rolling uphill would probably move faster, but I think Riley Leonard's good. Just give him some time.
Give him time, man. He's the main quarterback.
Yeah. Maybe he said, no, I don't want to play this week. I want to stay in with my Notre Dame brethren, and I'm going to pull out.
Yeah.
Of this game.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the Colts are just, you're talking about a team that has went downhill since, a few weeks ago. Whenever Daniel Jones had that, broken fibula and he was still playing on it, I think that might be some of the reason why he ended up tearing that Achilles, because he was overcome.
And that was on his other leg.
Yeah. So, and, we didn't expect much out of the Colts at the beginning of the year. Then they looked like a Super Bowl contender because Daniel Jones was healthy, playing well, and then he kind of got hurt. They kind of fell off. And now Sauce Gardner's hurt for the defense. You made that trade for Sauce Gardner. And now this happens, and you're seeing Phillip Rivers, is Marvin Harrison Sr. still available? You maybe go get him again, Reggie Wayne. Let's just run it back for old Indianapolis Colts, right? Marshall Faulk. What was the linebacker after him? Joseph Adai,
Yeah, Joseph, live or let it die. Live or let it die. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
I guess they wanted to go to the Senior Bowl. They lost confidence. Well, they don't have no use for Indiana Jones and the search for a useful appendage or useful leg, because his legs ain't worth it now.
Yeah. No.
He should be out all next season too, because he got to let that fibula heal good, then the Achilles, and by the time all that's done, their season's going to be almost over. They might as well not even play him next year.
Yeah, they might as well not, man. It's I don't know. They brought him in for 1 year, so I don't know what they did with him after that.
He'll be a free agent next year. They ain't got to pay him, and they don't have to wait.
Yep. So, Gordon, do you have another yell or no yell topic?
No, I just had two riding around my head. Just took me a minute to remember the first one.
I got you. That would be my last yell or no yell topic, so that'll do it here for us on Yell or No Yell part of this program. So, where am I at here? Let's see. What was I going to bring up next? That'll bring us now to, let's go ahead, Gordon, and let's talk a little more news here real quick before we get into our review. And Penn State finally makes a hire. They hire Matt Campbell, a coach from Iowa State. Iowa State, they also opt out of a bowl. Don't blame them because they lost their coach. And Kansas State also opt out of a bowl as well. Obviously, neither one of them teams was making the college football playoff or close to it. So whatever, but Notre Dame, I think they just made a bad choice. But what are your thoughts? You got a little interest in some Penn State football. What are your thoughts on Matt Campbell as the next Penn State head football coach?
That's the best they could do. I'll give him credit. He was a coach whenever he saw something in Brock Purdy that no one else saw. And he was a good college quarterback. Not a bad pro one either.
pretty decent.
They say it has to do with what's around him, but no, not really. You can have everything in the world around you. Just look what's going up there in Minnesota. Look what's around him, and he ain't worth it. So that's not it. It's you got to have something in you to be able to throw to them people. And I think J.J. McCarthy's got a lot more to work with than Brock Purdy does, except for Christian McCaffrey. But
Yeah.
I mean, there can only be one, but maybe he should go to Tom Brady and think about getting cloned.
Yeah.
So who's the doctor that clones your dog? But I said this one don't get me wrong, he's not a bad coach. I'm sitting there thinking that's the best you could do.
Yeah.
Now watch him turn around and do what over in Indiana did and turn them and get them like they was. I was like, yeah, but as of right now, that's not. It's a good hire, but it's not an impressive hire. What you would expect them to do.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it at all. I thought for sure they were going to go with something else besides. When I seen that, I texted you and I was like, Matt Campbell, like, this is what you do? You waited this whole time. You had all these coaches available that you could have had. And your best thought was Matt Campbell. How many Big 12 championships has Iowa State won?
I don't think any.
I don't think any either. Like I said, he's had some talent there. He's had some good teams. But, man, if he couldn't win in the Big 12, what makes you think he's going to win in the Big 10 where the expectations are going to be even more than what they were in Ames, Iowa?
I mean, especially where he went to. There are expectations.
That's what they
Yeah, they got tired. They was getting tired of the 10-2 seasons and losing to Ohio State and the team up north all the time. You think Matt Campbell's going to be able to beat them? You already lost 5 or 80% of the big recruits that was going to come there for James Franklin. You already lost them.
Yeah.
Because they've already committed to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And Henry did. I think he did commit to Ohio State. So.
Oh, did he end up committing to Ohio State?
I think so.
But yeah.
Well, he might have, but I thought I heard he was signing with them, but he may not have. But either way, he ain't going there. So.
Yeah, that's a good thing there for you. Then you won't have to worry about him. But yeah, I just wasn't too impressed with the signing there, or with the hiring there for Penn State. Speaking of Penn State, Tennessee Volunteers are looking to hire Jim Knowles as their defensive coordinator. Gordon, you may have a little bit of history here knowing Jim Knowles. Before you get started on that, though, Chris Henry Jr. did sign with the Buckeyes, so congratulations. Man, that would be crazy. That is very scary. So what are your thoughts on Tennessee hiring Jim Knowles as their defensive coordinator, former Ohio State coordinator?
Yes, he was part of the championship picture, but he wasn't the reason why we won it. We scored a lot of points. We gave up a lot of points, more points than what we should have. I will say this, though. After we lost Fickle, he was the best coordinator we had, and we stole him from Oklahoma State. He made some improvements. He brought up a good scheme that's just been taken to, there's good schemes and there's levels to it. Matt Patricia took it to another level. He did work with the Wizard for a lot of years. Bill Belichick. Like I said, he's not a head coach and he's not an offensive coordinator, but he can coach the hell out of some defense if he ain't got to worry about nothing else.
Yeah.
If I was Kentucky, wouldn't worry about that one. Because even if he brings a scheme in, it's pretty much relative to what he's always done. If you look at some of his Oklahoma State tape and watch some of the Ohio State tape from, not last year, but the 2 years prior, not much difference.
Okay.
It's the same like zone blitz scheme, the same type of stuff that you see every week. He may have a different person coming every now and then, more times than not. Like that for Caleb Downs' first year there, he used him instead of like whatever before he would use the linebacker, or he'd have a defensive end stand up and then come and swirl around the linebackers and go up the middle because the line would be preoccupied blocking, wouldn't see that guy flying by. But other than that, no. But now he uses more safeties and stuff. But it's a little bit more advanced than some of this you saw before. But it's not unbeatable, obviously, because Jim Knowles never beat the team up north either.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, they're looking to do that. And the question is now, is Josh Heupel one of the candidates for the Michigan coaching job? Wouldn't that be something? He leaves my rival to go to your rival. No, I'm just kidding.
I doubt it. I think he wants a new defensive coordinator because Penn sucks. Defense is just
sucks.
Been sucky.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna make a.
No. So let's go ahead, Gordon. Let's talk about some conference championship games last week.
All right.
And let's start off with the American Conference.
The
Number
one I
20
picked wrong.
The one I picked wrong as well. The Tulane Green Wave defeat the North Texas Mean Green 34-21. What were your thoughts on this game right here, Gordon?
There was a couple plays in there. I was sitting there. I watched the game because even with the score, it was an utterly entertaining game. It really was.
Yeah.
I think Messenmaker did force a fumble, and it rolled out of the end zone. They said, well, there's not clear evidence. Yeah, there was. The ball come loose. Messenmaker's body was clearly not even in the end zone, and the ball was behind him. And it came out and squirted out the back of the end zone. They got the touchdown anyways. That was actually a momentum killer because that play right there would have let spark North Texas to probably say, oh, no, we can stop him. But I give Messenmaker, I said he was the best player on the field that day. And, I mean, and he was by far. He might have made a lot of mistakes, but he did everything he could to make up for him, too. He threw a pick, and he technically did force a fumble, although it wasn't a fumble. That did suck, though. But I thought that was a great game. Messenmaker probably proved that if he would go to a Power 4 school, I would say he would.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, well.
That's the leader for him, I would say, where his coach is heading.
Yeah, and I say, though, if he goes to Oklahoma State and plays like he did at North Texas, I say you might be looking at the Heisman Trophy winner next year.
Yeah, so he had 294 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Too many turnovers for him in this game. Miles Coleman for him had 125 yards receiving. Good game for him. Retzlaff, the quarterback for Tulane, all he does is, he's a good game manager. McClure for Tulane, 121 yards rushing. The MVP for this game was Jack Chin-Chung. I don't know. The Tulane safety, he had 9 tackles, an interception, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He won the MVP for the conference championship. So Tulane is headed to the college football playoff after that win, and North Texas is not. So a good entertaining game, though, to begin it for the conference championship weekend.
I thought that was such a good game. It was way better than what the score was saying it was.
Yes, it was. It was closer than that. Now we go to the next conference championship, and that would be the Fun Belt. The number 25 James Madison Dukes defeat the Troy Trojans 31-14. Gordon, James Madison with their win and a couple of things that fell their way that we'll talk about in a little bit. James Madison makes the college football playoff. What do you think about James Madison and their win in the Sun Belt?
I didn't watch a whole lot of the game. I'll be flat honest with you because don't get me wrong, I thought it was going to be a worse beating than this because Troy is okay. James Madison was so much better than they was, and with a similar schedule, it was so much better. I thought it was, but not to the level I thought it was going to be. The little bit I saw, it was just Troy didn't even look like they belonged on the same field, really, most of the game. I mean, do I think James Madison deserves to be in the college football playoff? No, but my opinion doesn't count. I don't get a vote. But there's another school that could have been dropped to put Vandy in.
Yep, absolutely.
There was one group of 4 school in there, group of 5. They didn't have to have a second one.
Nope, they didn't.
I think Vandy should have been there. But this is neither here nor there. But I like that. That was what I saw. That game was good, but like to be honest with you, I watched like the first 10 minutes and I already saw it going in one direction. I said I cannot go to sleep during this. I said I gotta flip the channel.
So James Madison, they were led by Wayne Knight, the Dark Knight out there, 21 carries, 212 yards, 234 all-purpose yards, a Sun Belt championship game record. 73-yard touchdown run was the longest in Sun Belt title game history. The quarterback for Troy goes out in the third quarter with an ankle injury. What a name this guy has, right? Goose Crowder. Him and Maverick out there on offense for Troy just couldn't get it done. Man, if they didn't have a Maverick, that'd be great, wouldn't it? The MVP of this game was Wayne Knight.
Wayne?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Is he Newman? That's Newman, isn't it? Seinfeld. But my actual one I want to talk about here, I want to focus in on a player because this is my player spotlight right here, Gordon, and that would be defensive lineman from James Madison, Sahir West. He had 3 sacks in this game, 10 total tackles, 1 forced fumble. Now, in the season, he's only had 7 sacks. Yet 3 in a spotlight game means that he puts on when the games are big. I'm in desperate need of defensive linemen for my Cincinnati Bengals. So Zaire White, defensive lineman from James Madison, is my player spotlight of the week. Yeah, 3 sacks, man. That's a
Like
good
I
game.
told, oh hell yeah, that's an excellent game.
Yeah.
But like I told you, I don't have a spotlight for a player. I have a spotlight for a group of players from one team that I don't want to see on my team ever. We'll get to that once the game pops up.
Okay.
So you'll understand once I say it because you made a statement about it too, but go ahead.
So James Madison, they win the Sun Belt once again. Their coach is also headed out. He's headed out west, Kenny Chesney's brother, to coach UCLA. But before that, he's going to make a pit stop and coach in the college football playoff. Now we go to I don't know what conference this is even in. I think it's Conference USA. That's bad.
I think it is.
Kennesaw State Owls defeat the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, 19-15. Gordon, I've got to admit here, I didn't watch much of this game at all, but
I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch it at all. I thought it was going to be a better game than 19-15, but I would have probably watched it but there's a difference between a good defensive game and a defensive game because the offenses suck. I was afraid it was going to be a game because the offenses suck. So I did not want to watch that because that's boring as hell. A good defensive game, I love that. I mean, I've told you that 100 times. I will take a 6-3 game because the defense has played lights out. Then I will watch then more than I would like to see a 52-51 score where there's no drop passes and no incomplete passes. I'd rather see the good defensive game. But I didn't watch this one. I don't have any. Only thing I know is I picked the Owls.
Yep.
And that's just simply because I don't know nothing about either team. So I took the team with the best record of the two.
Yeah. And
that's how I picked that one.
I went Jacksonville State because one of the kids, X. So that's what I went with there on that. That was my only reasoning for it. So, hey, whatever. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that either. Not a game you're going to get up for or anything. Neither one of these teams make a college football playoff. So, yeah, we just talked about it because we went over it last week, and we're here to recap all the conference championships. Expertise right here for us. The next matchup, we may have a little bit to say about this one. The Mountain West, the Boise State Broncos defeat the UNLV Running Rebels 38-21. Boise State wins its 3rd straight Mountain West championship. Gordon, did you watch much of this one? Because I got to admit, I didn't watch much of this one either.
Nope, I did not. I just know I picked Boise State.
And I went with UNLV, but yeah.
Obviously, this looks like it was a better game than what I thought it was going to be. It really did, because UNLV does have a pretty decent defense. For where they play,
Yeah.
They can't get the recruits, the big ones, not a lot. So this does look like it was a way better game than what I thought it was going to be. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have probably watched more of it, or probably would have watched even a little bit of it. But I have no idea. I don't know who scored. I don't know who did what.
Well, Maddox Madsen, the quarterback from Boise State, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was the MVP of the game. These teams' total yards, Boise had 460, UNLV 409. So, they were pretty even there. Time of possession, 31-28. Pretty even. But Boise State went up 21-0 because of their defense. And they just kind of held on to that after that. UNLV kind of made a little push in the 4th quarter. But, once you get there, it's already too late. So, Boise State, they're going to be in the Pac-12 last year. So, this is the, last time that they'll be in the Mountain West to win their 3rd straight Mountain West titles.
Oh, yeah, they're relying the Pac-12, ain't they?
Yep. They're going to go from 2 to back to 8 or whatever it is. I don't know, but yeah.
They still going to be group of 5, or they considered a power school?
I would probably put them in group of 5. Your only 2 teams that you had from power school before, Oregon State and Washington State, and there's nothing power about them. So that's your Friday games there, Gordon. Let's go ahead and let's start with Saturday's games. Number 4, Texas Tech defeats number 11 BYU Cougars 34-7 in the Big 12 championship game. We both watched this one here. Domination from Texas Tech. What do you think?
It got sad very quickly. Yes, I watched it because we were both right and wrong in this game. We both kind of knew Texas Tech was going to win. But we thought BYU was going to put up some kind of a fight because they played them before and they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? It was a rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
BYU scores first, and then that's the only time they score.
That's it.
It was a rinse and repeat. I kept thinking, are they playing the last game they played?
Just on a replay? Delay going on at the stadium?
I mean, this is a severe replay. This is like a 2-month replay or 1 month replay.
Yeah.
Damn, you want to talk about time delay?
Mm.
Woo! But no, it was the same one. I'm like, what the hell? And like you said, the guy, my spotlight dude last week, Ermelo High, he showed up and showed out in this game. Well, so did Jacob Rodriguez, but he does in just about every game.
And so did Ben Roberts. 13 tackles, 2 interceptions for him. Another linebacker from Texas Tech. I mean, they just roll linebackers out, just out of the factory right there. They just,
Well,
carbon copies.
For years, sure, they sure to did.
Yeah. He had
Most
13
of them
tackles.
were NILs.
Yeah, they had a lot of NIL. He had 13 tackles. Jacob Rodriguez, 13 tackles. That defense forces 4 turnovers. And Morton on the offensive side, he 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, just efficient. Coy Eakin, 5 receptions, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Hey, they just did what they needed to do on offense and let the defense take over. Ben Roberts was the MVP for the Big 12 championship game. And, hey, I can see why. And that's their first Big 12 championship and outright championship since 1955. It's been a long time for them.
And the way they played this year, it was well earned too.
Like I said,
They
mentioned earlier, they are a legit title contender.
Yeah, they did not around with anybody this year.
No,
they beat them down and they snatched their soul quickly, except for once. But
yeah. And the other championship game that went on the same time, this one did, the Western Michigan Broncos defeated the Miami, Ohio Redhawks 23-13 to win the MAC championship. Gordon, I did not watch any of this MACtion game here. Steamroll.
whoop some ass there and against Brigham Young. Maybe BYU and Notre Dame ought to join schools because one of them likes to Brigham Young, another one doesn't like to pull out.
Yeah.
I mean, they are now.
Gordon, the only time they do it.
Yeah, they don't like to pull out.
So, Jalen Buckley, the Western Michigan running back, had 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was one of 3 MVPs, him and Dame Tucker, defensive end, and Palmer, whatever the kicker, MVPs for the MAC championship. Yeah, I don't know. Tucker had 2.5 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, 10 pressures. I don't know why you're giving MVP to 3 different guys, but whatever. They win it.
Congrats. I remember you picked the Broncos and I picked the Redhawks.
And then the next matchup we had the SEC championship. Georgia defeats Alabama 28-7 in a game that was not close at all at any point of this one here. Georgia dominated from beginning to end in this one, and they finally beat Bama in an SEC championship game. Gordon, I know you watched this one here, and you were for Georgia in this one for sure.
Oh yeah, I was for Georgia. I thought that was going to Alabama out.
I did too. The way they lost.
Now, I know they beat Georgia in the season in between the hedges, but they had 3 losses, and they got asses kicked in the SEC championship game. Mm-hmm. I thought that was going to knock them out, and that was going to push Vandy up. Not to talk much about that game, but, because other than that, it was it was entertaining on the Georgia side. And then whenever on the Alabama side, it was puzzling. Because you never seen them look like that. I mean, Ty Simpson, I don't think he could hit a receiver to save his ass that game. I saw a lot of balls flying over heads, and I'm like, well, we ain't seen this version of him off here.
Well, they had -3 rushing yards all game. Georgia held them to -3. Only the second time in program history Alabama has been limited to that much. That least amount of yards rushing.
Well, that's what I said. I thought that poor of a showing would knock them out. And it did.
So too.
And I don't even think they only dropped 2 spots. They went from 7th to 9th, and they got there thoroughly thumped.
Well, they stayed at 9th. They were 9th. Oh, no, they were 7th last week, weren't they? Yeah. So Georgia, it was the first win over Alabama in an SEC championship. They lost their previous 4. And, the first time since 2008 that they beat Alabama. I don't know what that is. I think I wrote something wrong down there. Anyways, Georgia wins. They lock up a bye. They're the 3 seed. Alabama sneaks into the playoffs somehow. I don't know. Gunnar Stockton is your MVP, and his stat line was not great. I mean, I don't know if I had to give it to him or not. 20-26, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, nothing crazy there. I mean, offensively for Georgia, nothing crazy. 297 yards total. Alabama had 209. They just completely dominated every aspect of this game right here, and they're SEC champs. So we head to the next matchup we have, Gordon, and
I know which one it is.
Big Ten championship. Number 2 Indiana Hoosiers defeat the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes 13-10 in what was a heavyweight matchup
We talked about it last week on here. We've talked about it, that this was the game of the week, and it lived up to the game of the week. I know it didn't produce the result you wanted to see, Gordon, but as a neutral fan, if you just step back, I know it's hard to kind of step back and just look at it. If you're just a fan of college football, this was everything you wanted in a heavyweight matchup like this. Mendoza goes down early. You think that, hey, it's over with, but he comes back in after a couple plays and game on. It was a game from start to finish. Fielding misses a key kick at the end there. Gordon, you have the floor, my man. I know you watched this.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good defensive game. I wouldn't have been nearly as perturbed as I was, but I'll get into why I was perturbed here in a little bit. I don't mind losing, and we talked about this before. When my Packers lost to the Browns, I didn't get real upset, did I? I said the right side of the line was out. We couldn't block Myles Garrett. I mean, that's all there was to it. Yeah. I don't mind losing. Sometimes it's how it happens that irritates me. Let's start off with the offensive game plan. Well, let's just keep fucking running it up the middle when we know it's not been working. Why not? Let's just try it again. Let's just slam it up there in the middle again. And I don't care if it's anywhere in between the tackles, you're running up the middle as far as I'm concerned. And you're running right into them. It ain't worked all game. Let's keep doing it. It's eventually going to work. Yeah. Bo Jackson finally did break one, but Jesus Christ, he was getting behind the line. He was getting hit behind. I think he had more yards after contact than he had rushing yards. He's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage so much, which that gives a testament to their defense. This good defense. But where I have the main issue is the perturbed, is can you define a holding call for me? Because I thought I had a very good grasp of it. I really did, until I watched that game. Now, as far as my spotlight for offensive linemen, I don't want anyone from that team, because in the NFL, they would put you 75 yards. It'd be 1st and 75. If you might be second and goal on your own yard line. But I will tell you this, though. If they want to convert to defensive end or defensive tackle, I'll take them, because they can definitely tackle.
Yeah, a lot of missed calls there on that side, for sure.
I know there was, one series? I remember you told me, of course, I saw it, but yeah. You sat there and said, that end is tackled every time he comes around the corner. That left tackle is constantly throwing him on the ground. Yep. And it's not been called. And then Mr. Sigdaddy over there on the other sideline saying, whenever Ohio State held once, and said, you're not calling the holding call. They ain't been calling it all. Well, I mean.
Could be, right?
Well, it was. It was being played in Indiana, so I kind of figured it was going to be a little bit one-sided on the calling. Yes, I'm a firm believer in the hometown refs. And when you don't call 17 holding calls in a row, kind of tells me what side you're on. You're not neutral. You're wanting the Darlings to win. I'd say they are a good team. They made it there. And even with all them holding calls that they wasn't calling, it was still that close of a game. But I'll tell you what, though, that's who I want to see in the final game. I want to play him again somewhere outside of Indiana and with referees that are not from the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I would like to have SEC referees that doesn't give a shit about neither team and neither state.
Yeah.
And just let them and call the game right. We'd have had them in that game, probably been a lot of holding calls.
So Mendoza, he wins the MVP for this game, 222 yards, a touchdown, a pick. He had a 33-yard pass to Charlie Becker towards the end. Charlie Becker steps up in place of Cooper, who goes down with an injury. 126 yards receiving for Becker. Just saying, 258 yards passing. He was sacked 5 times. That front seven for Indiana is legit. 18 yards rushing for Ohio State. Now, a lot of that is attributed to saying sack yards, because in college football, they count that as rushing yards. Indiana outgained him 312 to 276. This is the first time Indiana has, they snapped a 30-game losing streak to Ohio State dating back to 1988, and the Buckeyes had a 16-game winning streak, the first outright Big Ten title for Indiana since 1945. Ohio State red zone woes. They 4th and 1 at the Indiana 5, and then they missed a field goal late that was costly. That 4th and 1, man, they went back and reviewed it, and Sayan's knee just went down right before he crossed that line to gain a big play. Both teams do make the playoffs, and they both get a bye. Like I said, they didn't drop Ohio State too far down, because I think maybe they're kind of wanting to see the same matchup in the national championship too. So, hey,
maybe we'll get that again, and I would be for it. I would be for a neutral site game with both of these two teams.
They said that's a neutral site game. No, it's not.
It's in the state of Indiana. Where
Yeah.
did they play?
Yeah,
Indiana.
they played in Indiana. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel the same way about Georgia. They play the SEC championship game in Atlanta.
In Atlanta every year.
So, I mean, I think it should be that if you're from that state, you shouldn't play the championship game in that state. Yeah, a bunch of contracts. It really gives an advantage to one team. They don't have to travel hardly at all.
You know, I know this probably isn't a popular opinion or anything, but I think why don't you play it in a, hey, if it's the Big Ten championship, play it in Atlanta. SEC championship, play it in Indianapolis. Keep the same sites. The ACC championship, play it in Dallas. The Big 12 championship, play it in Charlotte. Why not? Mix it up a little bit. You still use the same sites, but you're not giving that home field advantage to that one team. Why not?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Switch it up. But the conference put their championship game in a state and one that there's no team from the ACC in, or the Big Ten, or SEC. You're switching it up. I think that would work so much better because there would be no home field advantage.
Well, so that's the Big Ten. And Gordon, there was another game going on at the same time, and I think I told you before, I was like, I'm not even going to watch any of this game because who cares? It's the ACC championship game. And I turned it on at the end, and man, what an exciting ending this was. The Duke Blue Devils caused the chaos we were hoping for and defeated the number 17 Virginia Cavaliers 27-20 in overtime. Gordon, did you happen to catch the end of this one or not?
No, I was mad at the end of the other game. But what I did do is I kept going back and I was checking the score, and I was getting giddy because, I think we knew both picked Duke to beat Virginia. And I was sitting there, I was like, I was just doing it because I thought they were weak. Yeah. That's right, they are. They're going to beat them. Huh? And they had, don't get me wrong, I'm going to give Virginia credit. They came back. But Duke was pretty much beating their ass all game. And it was so fun. I liked it. Virginia was fake as hell. Well, I mean, technically, look, I can't figure out how did they get the nod over Miami?
Some tiebreaker. Duke, that's their first ACC football outright championship since 1962. And the first school to win both the ACC football and basketball since 2012. The game went to overtime. They had a 10-point lead in the final 5 minutes. It blew it. And like you said, Virginia came back. I thought Virginia was going to win. They go to overtime. Duke seals it with a game-clinching interception. And also, it's kind of funny to me that Duke head coach Manny Diaz was fired from Miami in 2021, and he goes to Duke, and he wins a conference championship at Duke before Miami wins one with him being gone. So that's a little bit of justification for him, right? To go back there and be like, hey, you guys got rid of me. Guess what? I win a championship before you do. So yeah. They were pushing that they should have been in the playoff, not with 5 losses. You don't deserve to be in the playoff.
No. No, even winning didn't put you in being ranked.
No, it did
Actually, I think that's the first unranked Power 4 or 5 champion I think I've seen in a long time.
It is, and the first 5-loss champion in a long time, too, for a Power 5 school or Power 4 school, yeah.
But, well, now it's 4, but
yeah,
it was 5 for a long time.
Mixed up with Group of 4, Group of 5,
Yeah, because it used to be the Power 5 and the Group of 4. Now it's the Power 4 and the Group of 5.
Thanks, Pac-12, once again.
The Pac-2.
The Pac-2 until next year. But that is our recap for all the conference games. Now we're going to do a little bit of a pick here before we get out. Gordon, and let's go ahead and let's start off with, this isn't a bowl game, but it's the Army-Navy game. Navy's the 6-point favorite in this one. Gordon, what are you thinking here? I don't think we can go wrong with either one of these teams. Like you said, appreciate the service that they give us.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Well, they both run the same type of offense. Well, I like Navy to win and cover because they actually got a quarterback to throw the ball. We found out that one game that they won, we both thought they wasn't going to against USF, and it ended up being a hell of a fucking game. Lots of passing yards. Even from Navy.
Horvath. Sorry, keep saying Horvath. Blake Horvath quarterback for Navy.
Ain't that what it's called when a woman has to wash something when it gets a little dirty?
Mm-hmm.
A whore bath?
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, so you got Navy in this one. You think they cover?
I got Navy covering, and I think they're actually going to outpass. They'll have more passing yards than Army has rushing yards.
So this game right here, it's always entertaining. There for a while, Navy owned this series, and then Army came back. They owned this series for a while. Now it's kind of balanced out. Navy, I think, has won a few in a row. They always put out different jerseys for this game, different helmets. Love the helmets that Navy put out a few years ago where they had the ships on the side of the helmets. Those were awesome.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so I really like the creativity that they do with these jerseys. That's what I'm looking forward to in this game. As far as the game goes, I think Navy's probably the better team. I mean, I've got, some family. My grandfather was in the Army. My father-in-law was in the Army. So I'm going to have to roll with the Army just because of that. I think Army wins this game, and they cover, and they get the upset in the Army-Navy game.
Well, both of my grandfathers was in the Army, too. They served in World War II.
Yeah.
I just watched it. I actually joined the Navy for a little bit, but didn't make it out. But, I mean, I made it out, but not through and then out. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So I got Navy because like I said I like their quarterback, and besides, most of the time their helmets are so much cooler.
They are, but Army's got some pretty slick uniforms too in this game sometimes.
I like it when they wear the all black. Them are the nice ones. I
really like the Army greens that they wore the one year. Those were nice. But you can't go wrong with either one of these teams. All these guys out here are going to be fighting for our country, and salute to them. And now, Gordon, let's go ahead. I put in some bowl games here since you mentioned it earlier. So let's go ahead and let's pick some bowl games, right? Before we get to next week's college football playoff games, we'll pick them next week. But we do have some bowl games starting Saturday, and that'll be Boise State and the Washington Huskies. Washington's a 9.5-point favorite. And this is the Buck Up Bowl.
Buck up, Buttercup. Which one? Boise and Washington. Give me Boise. Washington isn't worth it, so just give me Boise. They're going to win. And they're actually, Boise's underdogs.
Yeah. Washington's a 9.5-point favorite in this one.
Well, then technically they're on the road because they're the road team, so they're the road dogs. Jesse James got in there. I got Boise winning this one because I can't trust Washington.
I'm with you here, man. I think that Washington's, who cares, they haven't been as good as what they expected to be. They've had a few games where it's like, okay, and then they come in, they lay a third. Boise coming off of that, their third straight Mountain West championship. Maddox, the quarterback for Boise's played really well the past couple of years, actually. I like Boise to win this one, too. This is a game of the, Pacific Northwest. Old Pac-12 against new Pac-12. Give me the new Pac-12. Give me Boise. And give me Boise to cover it because they're the road dog, Jesse James. And, hey, we'll let it in again, man. We're not going to have too many more podcasts when we get that in this year, but there it is. Next matchup we've got in the bowl games, we got the Troy Trojans against those Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Troy's a 3.5-point favorite in I thought that said the ISIS Salute to Veterans Bowl, but that'd be strange. But it looks like the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl. So, Gordon, new ISIS Bowl. What you got in this one?
Actually, I'm feeling a little cocky. So I got the Gamecocks taking down Troy. The underdogs again, but this time they're home. So,
and you already know we've already established on here. I'm not going against Jack State in this one. But give me Jacksonville State to win this one. And I think they cover. They're the home dogs, and they win the IS Salute to Veterans Bowl, not the other one I said earlier. So, the next bowl game we got. I love these bowl names, man. This is like the best part of the bowl season, right? Because they change them every year. The Old Dominion Monarchs face the Southern Florida Bulls. USF's a 3.5-point favorite in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. I don't think Alex Golish is here. I don't think Brian Hartline's here yet for South Florida, but what do you think?
I don't know how you can cure DNA, but, I have faith in them.
Yeah, got faith in them.
But I don't care. South Florida, I mean, the players are still there. Yeah. They can still play. They knew they wasn't going to get into the playoff unless a lot of freaking miracles happen. You can only pray for so many miracles. Give me South Florida and a cover in the Staff DNA. Or are they just trying to cure the staff of DNA?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what we're curing here, but the DNA staff is trying to cure something in the bowl. I don't know. that may be more. I mean, I'd like to hear what they do. Maybe I don't know. They show them like features and everything before the games. Be interesting to see what we're hearing here. Oh, man, like you said, South Florida still got the players over there. They were a good team. They had the shot to win the Group of 5 bowl bid to get in the playoff. Give me South Florida to win this one. I think they actually cover this one. I don't know much about Old Dominion except for I think they beat Virginia Tech, but who hasn't this year, right? So yeah, give me South Florida. And the next bowl game we got the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, I think, face the Delaware Blue Hens in their first season in
Adventures Bowl?
Yeah, Louisiana's a 3-point favorite in the 68 Ventures Bowl. Gordon, what do you think? I just drove 68 today.
I'll tell you what, and in that snow is a hell of an adventure too.
Yeah, it was.
But well, we're Delaware's from way up north, Louisiana's from way down south. I don't know where the
Ventures Bowl's at, to be honest with you. I will find out real quick.
But I don't think I could go wrong with taking the Raging Cajuns to take out the Blue Hens.
It's in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, that's going to be a little too warm for Delaware. It's going to be a little cool for Louisiana.
And a shorter trip.
Yes, a much shorter trip for Louisiana. Give me the Raging Cajuns to cook the Blue Hens, and they cover.
Yeah, so Delaware, it's their first season in the FBS, so they're going to be excited to be here. Louisiana, they've been there before, whatever. I really don't have much to say on this game right here. I'm just going to skew different from you here. I'm going to go with Delaware just because they're excited. It's their first bowl game in the FBS, so they go out and they win for Joe Flacco, and Delaware wins, and they cover. Of course, they're the Dogs. And then the final pick we're going to make this week, the Missouri State. Are they the Bears? I'm not sure who the Missouri State are. I wouldn't say. I think they're the Bears. If not,
I think they are too.
All right, the Missouri State Bears face the Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Yeah, I think they're Red Wolves.
Man,
Arkansas State's the Red Wolves.
Look at that. Look at me, just off the top of my head. Missouri State is a 2.5-point favorite in the Xbox Bowl. Hey, the Xbox Bowl. Everybody gets an Xbox.
Hey, it looks like it says most negative minus 2.5 Xbox Bowl. I'm like, that's a name. The most negative 2.5 Xbox Bowl. Missouri State. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one thing about neither team except they like to score points. So give me Arkansas State. The Wolf is actually going to beat the Bear this time. And then everybody gets an Xbox. They better send me one too, damn it.
This one here is played in Frisco, Texas. Arkansas is closer to Texas, so in that case, I'm going to take the home dogs in this one, Arkansas State. Give me them to win. Give me them to win and cover, because, of course, they're underdogs. Xbox for everybody. Arkansas State wins the Xbox Bowl, and that is our picks for the week. That'll do it for those picks. And next week, we'll pick the college football playoffs and the bowl games. We'll end up picking all the bowl games here just because I like to hear the bowl names. That's what I'm excited about, Gordon.
Yeah, we won't be back for the 20th, will we?
Yeah, we should be back for the 20th.
Because the 19th has a good game.
Yeah, we'll be back for the 20th. 20th's on Saturday.
That's this Saturday, isn't it?
That's next Saturday. It's 13th this Saturday.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're at the 10th right now. So we'll be back before Christmas gets here. He's ready.
Yeah. We get off here. I'll give you my picks for the pros because we both know I won't be awake that long.
All right. Well, that'll work, man. And also, you may see up in the corner of this here podcast, there is a QR code.
Right up there.
Right up there. If you scan that QR code, you don't want to hear us on YouTube, it'll send you right to our Spotify page. Go to Spotify, follow us, and you'll get us every time that we release a podcast. And Gordon, that'll do it here for us on this show, College Football Playoff Preview, recap of the College Football Championships. Big news, Sherrone Moore fired as Michigan coach. We'll find out more about that. We'll talk about it next week, of course, and we will catch you all in the next one.
See you later, man.